All right, moving on. Earlier this month, Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi declared that the war on Islamic State was over. But life for locals continues to be a struggle. Mosul, the biggest city that was occupied by Islamic State, is staring at years of rebuilding. And so far, no help has come to their way. Here's a report.
After 3 years of war against the Islamic State, the dust seems to be finally settling in parts of Iraq. But the challenges are far from over. While the Iraqi government has estimated that $100 billion will be needed to rebuild the destroyed towns and cities, locals feel that amount could be highly underestimated. Mosul, Iraq's biggest city that was held by the Islamic State, today stands at nearly 3,000 tons of debris per acre. While the sheer magnitude of the rubble is a challenge, what makes matters worse is that explosives are embedded in them, many of them intentionally placed by ISIS. The city that once had 2 million residents is now only but a shell of what it was. Collapsed homes and bombed localities greet residents who have returned. Muhammad Ali returned to Mosul recently after fleeing from the fighting earlier this year.
I feel completely destroyed. I don't feel like coming back to this home. I've lost all hope of living here after seeing all this devastation.
Unfortunately, Sunni-dominated Mosul is receiving no help from the government, largely run by Shia Muslims. But that is not stopping residents from returning home. Ammar Ismail Ibrahim sold his wife's jewellery to give his shop a fresh paint of coat. Today, it is the only store on the street that is open.
All the countries in the world should help us because they are the reason why our city is completely destroyed.
While the locals look up to the world, no country has come to their aid. The US has made it clear that it is going to stay away from the rebuilding business.
Ultimately, we believe that Iraq needs to be rebuilt through a variety of different sources. The Iraqi government will have to put in a lot of money to rebuild its infrastructure. We think there will be quite a few international donors who will help, but ultimately we think it will be the international private sector and we hope the Iraqi private sector that will bring money back into the country and help create businesses, create jobs, and refurbish infrastructure. And this is the area where we think we have a comparative advantage and can provide the most help.
According to United Nations estimates, nearly 40,000 homes in Mosul need to be rebuilt. Over 600,000 residents have been unable to return to their homes. Though the UN is working on repairing infrastructure in dozens of towns and cities of Iraq, the funds they have for it are grossly insufficient. Another concern that now compounds human rights groups is that if the Sunni Muslims in the country feel ignored, it might give rise to a new generation of militants. Bureau Report, WION.